Yo, 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 it's your boy Casual Real with the Silent A podcast. And man, we're back with another one and a quick one at that. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Let us know what you're thinking. As always, subscribe. We appreciate that love. We're going quick. We're going fast. And for this one, it's a little off topic, right? You know, we're a boxing channel, boxing network, where we talk boxing. But we also talk other things here and there in other sports. And this one, I just couldn't pass up because I believe this impacts not just the sport of boxing, but just sports in general. We're going to talk about the conspiracy against Shannon Sharpe and male athletes. Let's start with this. You already know what's been going on. Mr. Sharpe's been accused of some assaults and some things going on over there, not to get too much detail. If it is true, may justice be served. And if these allegations are false and being manipulated and displayed for a money grab and to defame the character, then may justice be served in the opposite way. Because I think we've seen time and time again where male athletes, I'm gonna stick on male athletes, have been accused of all type of allegations to be found out to be false, and they do not get their justice served on their behalf for the defamation of character and so forth. Again, if he's guilty, let that justice be served, because I don't think no man should ever impose their will on anybody, male or female. And again, if these are false, let that justice be served and let everybody know you can't play with people's lives and careers. Let's get into it. The conspiracy against Shannon Sharpe and male athletes. It's clear that Mr. Sharpe hasn't really paid attention to the likes of what happened to Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. Or even more vicious, may he rest in peace, Steve McNair. There is a motion, an environment built for the athlete, whether they're a fighter, NFL star, NBA, you name it. There's a certain environment, a certain pool that's been out there, and even Cat Williams kind of explained it in Club Shay Shay's interview that blew up early last year. No matter your race, creed, sexuality, as an athlete, you got to stay away from this environment, away from this pool, because it's built to feed off of you. They have a whole economic population and pool out there of male and females who live and make money off of you as an athlete. And I'm not talking about the business of the sport, meaning like the business of boxing, the business of NBA, those who are the reporters. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, there's a whole economic system there. I'm talking about the ones who feed off of victimization of the athlete. And somehow we always keep finding ourselves in this situation of them not listening. There's too many examples out there. There's too many stories. Like we just hit two real quick ones. Kobe, Steve McNair. Kobe obviously had his issues way long when they're doing their championship run and ran into some false allegations that he defamed him, took his career down, almost lost his whole family and his wife. Steve McNair, not so much of an allegation of assault, but ran into, having an affair that led into some troubles and unfortunately led into his demise. You've got to look at Tiger Woods, all the issues he's had back and forth, up and down. And this isn't just about assaults. This is about really ruining your career for the chase of the environment. The conspiracy against male athletes, the conspiracy against Shannon Sharpe is that pool has always been there. That environment's always been there, and it's built for them. It's built to feed off of you. And somehow you ignore the warning signs. You're making good money. You feel good about yourself. You feel high about yourself. Same thing about fighters. Fighters, we push them, right? Are we the guilty ones, meaning the fans? We push fighters to be what? Violent in the ring. Give us that edge. And then when they step out of the ring, it's the hard switch to turn off at times, but they should be able to, right? They're professionals. Right and wrong. But let's keep it honest. There's some things that's hard to turn off, that aggressiveness, that built-in nature, right? And there's no excuse. What we're trying to get to is how they feel sometimes during the sport, where it's NFL, NBA at their high. They feel like they're the man. They feel like they're the king, feel like they're the queen. If we're talking about female sports, we feel like they're at the high, and they're still chasing that high. And some of the decisions they make outside of the ring leads them back into that environment, into that pool, where they're not thinking clearly and think they might be above whatever normal stipulations, guidelines, rules, and it won't happen to them. If you did the deed, you did the crime, do the time, old school method. But if you didn't, and you still get caught up in these type of allegations, Shannon Sharpe is 57 years old. Been around the NFL for years. Been around NFL players for years. Interviewed them for the last few years on Club Shay Shay, ESPN, you name it. You've heard of the goings-ons, but yet you find yourself in a situation with a young lady and asking for support. You can mess with who you want to mess with, do it your free time, but an OnlyFans star, 30 years younger than you. If you play with young people, expect young games and young surprises. We've heard the audio. We've heard the tapes. He's over here arguing and frustrated with a 19-year-old. First of all, I'll be damned if my daughter dates a 57-year-old man. First and foremost, she's a child. She's young. Yes, she's legal by the states of, wherever country you're in. Yeah, that's legal. But the development of the mind is still not there, still young. And you're arguing with a 19-year-old, going back and forth, doing whatever. Got it, good. Your own personal life, your own personal business. But making the moves you made, believing in your own hype, falling into the environment that that's been there, that economic pool off to the side that's always been there, this same group of individuals that's always been there, both male and female, that feed off of the athlete. This. The real conspiracy against Shannon Sharpe and male athletes is themselves. The athlete in this day and age is the actual conspiracy and the actual enemy against themselves. Yes, we have some bad actors. Yes, we have people out there that feed off of them. Yes, we have people that victimize them, and they are also within that pool in victimization. And sometimes you can't see the wolf in the sheep clothing. But in this case, and in many cases that we've seen like this, you know what you're doing. You know what you're diving into. The writing's been on the wall. There's too many clear-cut cases, clear-cut issues like this. You've seen too many examples to not know. Too many examples to not know. Educating yourself, educating your brand, educating your team, keeping good circles around you so people can at least tell you, hey man, you probably won't need to mess with this 19-year-old or mess with this chick that just showed up after you signed a new contract, a new deal worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is for any fighter, any athlete, any sport. If you wasn't getting it before the money, and I'm talking about the type of person, no matter what your sexuality is, if you wasn't getting that type and you wasn't on that brand, you wasn't on that time, you probably want to walk in light. And that's not saying you can't get got anyways. You know, you're an athlete. People know who you are. You're popular. They know the face. So some people are going to obviously come to you no matter what they look like just because of who you are and your name and your fame. But at the same time, build in the right mindset, have some right checks and balances. But let's get more back into what we're talking about here. This case, I'm not talking about the one that was clearly hoodwinked and duped. The writing was on the wall in the case of Shannon Sharpe and in the case of some other actors that's been out there, right? It's time to take ownership and compartmentalize yourself and keep things straight. Keep your team strong and keep your mind strong and pay attention to the warning signs. Don't think you're above the situation. This has caused many of fighters to get breaking down. In boxing, MMA, you name it, it's hurt the NBA, it's hurt the NFL, both right and wrong. Not saying there have all been false accusations, some have been true. All because they allowed themselves to walk into a situation that they knew they shouldn't have been in. You've seen plenty of examples, plenty of friends, you name it. To wrap this up, athletes, pay attention. Learn from the lessons of others. And don't be the lesson for others. There's plenty of examples out there. There's plenty of history. Don't think you're above the situation. And avoid that environment and pull the best you can. I know it's tough. Millions of dollars. But just take your time and realize this. You are a brand. And you are a human that is well known and needs to understand the groups you're dealing with. I'm not going to get into the age bracket too much, but again, deal with people that are like-minded as you. That could be good, actually good or bad, depending on what your mindset is. But at least deal with folks that's in your same bracket, your same thought set, and who want the best for you. If you find yourself arguing too much, if you find yourself in too much emotional back and forth, especially as a fighter, back to boxing, you need to stay away from those situations because it's hard for you to recognize that trigger. When the argument, the violence starts, you're a warrior, a fighter, you naturally do that, your natural instincts, and sometimes it's hard to click off. It's best to stay away from those situations. And the same thing for any athlete. Just stay away from it. There's plenty out there. There's plenty for you to do. There's plenty of options for you. Good options. Anyways, we talked about this today mainly because we've seen a lot of other channels going back and forth on it. And from my standpoint, just tired of seeing these guys break themselves down the same old way. And then turn around and ask for support and understanding. It's a difference if you were scammed. It's a difference if you were hoodwinked. But when you're dealing with what you're dealing with, don't come to me. Don't come to the public. Go pay that lawyer. And let's not end up here again. Again, if you did it, may justice be served. If you didn't, may justice be served. It's your boy Casual with the Sign A Podcast. Hit that like button, comment below, and subscribe, man. You know, it's off topic for us. We're a boxing channel, boxing network. But we just had to talk about that real quick. No disrespect to anybody. Just our thoughts. We just thought we'd throw them out there. Hit that like button again, comment below, and subscribe, man. It's your boy Casual. Until the next time, peace.